and welcome to the One Idjit's Thoughts on Podcast. I am Paul Mackey on the 28th day of the Dog Days of Podcasting Challenge. There's no sense holding back this time. This is the home stretch of Dog Days and the home stretch of Gravity Falls. The current plan is to watch the episodes as Disney Plus has them laid out, despite the fact that the last two episodes aired back-to-back on the same night. Perhaps I'll regret that, but it fits the number of days left in August better. Then, the last day of August can be a cool down. I can chat more about what's upcoming on the podcast in the coming months. I think I'll be ready to announce 2 of the 3 new shows coming up, though I can't predict exactly when they'll premiere. At the very end of Dog Days of Podcasting 2024 now, I even have an inkling of what Dog Days of Advent may hold in December. Plus, I can attempt a little interaction with listeners and YouTube viewers. If you have any questions about my thoughts on Gravity Falls or anything else about the podcast, please respond. You can email idjitcastpodcast@gmail.com. You can leave a message on the post for this episode at nimlas.org, or you can reply below if you're watching on YouTube. But if I'm going to be able to do any of that on the final day, I have to keep watching. And today, I watched Gravity Falls Season 2, Episode 18, Weirdmaggeddon Part 1, Unpronounceable. Originally aired October 26, 2015, again only a couple of weeks after the previous episode. And the brief summary. Things hit the ground running. The rift is open and Bill is reveling. He gathers up an unconscious Mabel and seals her in a bubble bearing the shooting star from her sweater, and that is in turn wrapped in chains. Bill declares himself Lord and Master over all the beings in this reality. He introduces a passel of crazy henchmen, but the mayor shouts him down along with most of the townspeople. Preston Northwest volunteers to help out and is rewarded by Bill randomizing his face. Bill turns Deputy Derlin to stone, and an eye bat hoists him out of Sheriff Blubb's arms with a beam of light. Bill generates a giant castle and lots of giant colored bubbles. Bill shouts out the name of all this chaos, Weirdmaggeddon, which is a term I think I did hear once or twice watching people on YouTube react to parts of Stranger Things. And with that, we get a mixed-up credit sequence that ends in a reversed form of this. Dipper tries to run off and save Mabel, but Ford says stopping Bill comes first. A literal water-like wave of weirdness sweeps across the town, turning Seuss's abuelita into a recliner. But she says she's fine, and he should see to his friends. Stan is shouting at Gompers the goat, but suddenly Gompers grows above the treetops, and Stan flees in terror. Gompers then chomps a hole in the side of the prison, and Gideon and a crowd of his devotees escape. Ford has a big gun, and he says it would take one shot to take out Bill, but he is startled by a bell literally coming to life behind him, and his shot misses high. This causes Bill to notice him. Bill thanks him for building the portal and enabling the invasion, and then he freezes Ford and turns him into a backscratcher. Dipper demands that he turn Ford back, and Bill taunts him. Dipper frantically pages through the 3 journal and basically just sees text that tells him there is no hope. Desperately, he tries to punch Bill, but he is repelled. Then Bill levitates and burns all 3 journals to ash. Bill offers a couple of his henchmen Dipper as a snack and drives off with the rest of his henchmen to the castle. Dipper flees and hides, but then considers people could be hiding in the mall, like he's probably seen in a zombie movie or something. Inside, he decides to try to eat a bowl of nachos that's just sitting out on a table, and he is captured. It turns out his captor is actually a survivalist, Wendy. She releases him, and they hug. Dipper tells Wendy about the confrontation he had with Mabel just before all this went down. Wendy points out that Dipper has beaten Bill twice before, but he replies that he always had Mabel. Wendy says the next obvious step is to rescue Mabel then. At the castle, the henchmen listen to dance music and play with petrified humans, and Bill says after the party comes Phase 2. The party is interrupted by the Time Police. Time Baby says the rip could cause the destruction of the fabric of existence, but Bill makes him and the Time Police all evaporate. Blendon, hiding nearby, triggers his device and vanishes. Dipper and Wendy stop by the car lot to try to steal some wheels, but they are caught by Gideon and his prison henchmen. Gideon lets them know they were placed there by Bill to guard Mabel's bubble, and Gideon brandishes the key to it. Wendy says she will shortly take the key, and then she does. Dipper and Wendy steal a car and flee. They drive toward the rail bridge where Mabel is trapped through a field of weirdness bubbles that cause all who pass through to shift in various ways. Dipper and Wendy are briefly birds, anime characters, and then the live-action images of Jason Ritter and Linda Cardellini before emerging as themselves outside the bubbles. One jump remains, and the car crashes and rolls upon landing. A battered and bruised Dipper and Wendy drag themselves out of the wreck, confronted by a hooded figure, who turns out to be Seuss. Then they are caught and surrounded. Dipper makes a speech to Gideon about not forcing love, instead being a good person that can be loved. Gideon is moved and decides to battle Bill to be worthy of Mabel's attention. Seuss, Wendy, and Dipper prepare themselves for Bill's prison, built for Mabel, and they all determine to do what it takes, together, for Mabel. Dipper unlocks the chains and they enter, with "to be continued" displayed on the screen. My favorite line...
This isn't gonna work, Gideon.
Oh, and why's that?
Because after I break Ghost Eye's arm and steal that key from your neck, I'm gonna wear your butt on my foot like a rhinestone slipper.
Oh, and what makes you think you can do all that?
Because I'm a flippin' corduroy!
And Gideon's philosophy major henchman was definitely a runner-up. Is that okay? Hey there, young kid, how's it hanging? What worked? Again, the art style and the animation quality is stepped up from the week-to-week series, as I noted last episode, but even more so here. Obviously, the weirdness bubbles sequence with several bursts of madness expertly rendered in a matter of seconds. I'm talking characters, though. You get these close-ups on the characters, emoting and really showing character detail. Some actual emotive moments, too, in all the chaos. The episode had to show how crazy things become, toss random elements into the dryer on high and let them all stick together like a 24-pack of crayons in a back jeans pocket, and it came through. But Dipper also has a plot through line and a goal, so a story is present among the wildness. Things to ponder. So, here's all the clues. Mabel was wishing summer could last forever, and that they didn't have to go home from Gravity Falls, and that Dipper wouldn't separate from her, and Bill has her captured and can make reality his plaything. I think we're in a better-than-life scenario here. That's specifically from Red Dwarf, but you see it all over the place. Maybe a genie is giving you visions of your mom being alive and you're out mowing her lawn, or you get in a transporter accident and believe you have married and have a couple of kids. You know, something like those entirely random examples. So next time is Gravity Falls Season 2, Episode 19, Weirdmaggeddon Part 2, Escape from Reality. Happy hunting! You've been listening to the One Idjit's Thoughts On podcast, produced by Paul Mackey in association with Nimlas Studios. Any short clips of audio from shows is included under fair use for commentary purposes, and copyright for that content remains with its original copyright holders. The theme song is Too Good by Jack Mangan and is used by his generous permission. One Idjit's Thoughts is produced under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives 4.0 International License. You can find more episodes of this podcast and many other fine podcasts at nimlas.org. You can contact me by emailing idjitcastpodcast@gmail.com or commenting on episodes at nimlas.org. So does that make Gompers the goat? See what I did there? No? All right then, never mind.